Hello, my name is Nick Christopher and I'm from Sharp Electronics. And I want to thank you for giving me the time to speak to you today about Sharp Business Systems and how we help our customers communicate better within their organization. We know that you have many choices on who to partner with. So what we'd like to do today is we'd like to see, first and foremost, if there's a process that we could begin today to learn a little bit more about your objectives and priorities to better help with our communication tools and programs to improve communication within your organization. The way we do this is what we call the communication continuum. We work within these spaces in the customer's office, technology, and networking. And we're going to go through each one of these into more detail and talk a little bit about what we've found in your organization and how we can possibly help. The first is the document space. This is the area, the multifunction copiers, faxes, office equipment, those types of equipment that you have within the organization already for many years that essentially are creating documents and sometimes capturing documents. The next space is the imaging space, where documents are saved electronically, sometimes on networks or sometimes using software to help retrieve documents very quickly, and you're able to provide results back to your clients faster. Third space is the collaboration space. This is an example of the collaboration space, the tools that we use to help our customers communicate better within their organization, using cutting-edge technology to improve communications for those who are perhaps remote or within the organization to help bring tools to help bring information closer to the end user. And finally, the network space, where we can provide that networking expertise to help secure networks and to provide those services that often IT departments are not able to do or are bogged down by doing. First, the document space. What we found is our customers often experience some of these challenges. Some of them from preliminary meetings with you, we see that you've been impacted by some of these challenges, and these are very common to most organizations around the country. Of course, cost is always a concern, making sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. Productivity goes, of course, hand in hand with cost, to make sure that your technology isn't redundant, doesn't break down, and that you have somebody who's going to be there to make sure that that equipment is up and running reliably. And then, of course, security, which has been a concern for many years when you have electronic devices in your organization from a vendor or provider. You want to make sure that that equipment is secure and can't be hacked into. The imaging space. Again, cost of storing documents is something that many organizations experience. They're either keeping documents on-site or off-site. On-site obviously takes up a lot of space within the organization that they could be utilizing for employees or for other types of equipment that may be needed, or storing off-site, which incurs an additional cost of keeping documents at somebody else's location and being managed, and then when retrieval is required, actually having to pay to have those documents being sent over. Productivity impacts a lot of what I've just said, being able to catch or bring documents back when needed that may have been boxed up or put into file cabinets or sent off-site. And of course, security and compliance. Being able to control those documents and making sure that now that they're electronic, that they're not going to be easily accessed by those folks who are not authorized to retrieve those documents. The collaboration space. This is a very exciting area of our solution. Obviously, for a lot of organizations, we have, just like we do in our office, is that we telecommute, essentially with using technology to be able to communicate and spend more time being productive at work by either working remotely, either from another office or sometimes from home office. And then being more productive because we have more time and we're spending a lot less time traveling and spending a lot less money traveling, and we're able to be part of meetings and collaborate with other folks within our organization. And of course, reliability of equipment that doesn't require bulbs, like a projection system that many folks who have in conference rooms today. Sometimes they'll come in and they'll have an important meeting and a bulb will be out, and that using the technology that we have to offer, this wouldn't even be a concern. And again, security on the cloud, when using some of these services, when you're working remotely, to make sure that your communications are safe and not be able to be viewed by those folks who might be unauthorized or who would take advantage of the information that you are communicating within your offices. And then finally, on our network space, we find that many people have either a tough time maintaining their budget for IT because there's always new technological concerns that come up almost daily. Things like help desk services and backup that sometimes take up an IT department's time could be offloaded to an organization that's a reliable organization such as ours, to take that burden off of IT so they can address the projects of the organization as they come up, because we know that in this competitive environment that we have to be able to pivot on a dime to answer to marketing or market concerns that we see changing in the news, by technology, internationally, and many other challenges that we all experience. And then, of course, making sure that the network is always up and running, that there's no downtime, and if there is a disaster, God forbid, that you'll be up and running very quickly without losing too much time in your business continuity. Back to security, viruses, data recovery, and some folks who don't have a technology plan, we'd be able to put a plan in place. So the benefits of the communication continuum is that we serve all these business spaces in one organization. What we can do is, in the document space, we can help reduce costs and provide better workflow to the creation of documents. And in many cases where documents normally would have been produced on paper, could be captured electronically. Documents coming into the organization can be saved electronically without being printed out, and then documents that are being created in the organization can be captured and saved electronically for future retrieval. Where in the imaging space, we would take those documents that are coming from all areas, whether they're paper-based, email, other electronic documents, and bring it all into one content management application or solution that when somebody goes to retrieve a file, let's say on a particular client, that they will have the entire breadth of communication in and out of the organization in one place. And that would be secure, of course. Only that information that is authorized by individuals will be able to be viewed, printed, or emailed out of the organization when needed. collaboration space, using cutting-edge technology like this interactive touchboard that we use in organization for communicating and conducting meetings, also for teleconferencing, and in communications to our employees using our digital signage software that can send out messages to LCD displays around the office. And finally, our network management services, where we could provide disaster recovery for your servers. We can be that help desk for your end users to take on those functions that could possibly bogging down your IT department, or even in some cases replacing those departments that are not being as productive as they could with our services, and as well as managing the devices that your organization use, either iOS or Android devices that need to be managed in order to control the proprietary information of your organization. So here's a list of some of our clients who have taken advantage of most or all of our communication continuum solutions. These are folks just in this area, but the list is obviously just a small cross-section of the many thousands of customers that we have across the country that have benefited from our communication continuum solution. So what I'd like to do is invite you to come into our facility, into our showroom, to take a look at some of the technology and services that we have to offer. We will provide you with the information that you need to make a decision on who the best organization to partner with. I'd like to schedule a date and time with you and invite your teams to come in to meet ours and see if we can develop a relationship for the future that will benefit your organization as well as ours. And I'd like to thank you for giving me the time to speak to you about Sharp's communication.